Hi everyone, welcome to the Mindful Living Podcast. My name is Stephanie Robilio and I'm your host. Here we will have real conversations about what it takes to achieve optimal wellness in mind, body, and spirit. It's one thing to know and it's entirely different to know how. As they say, applied knowledge is power, and on each episode I will teach you how to apply the things you are learning so that you can create the change you seek, heal, recover, and be well now. In case you're wondering, I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the clinical director for Agape Behavioral Healthcare. Fun fact, I'm also a published author. I write poetry and self-help workbooks, which you can find on Amazon or my website. If you are ready to move out of your own way and step into your power, you have landed at the right place. Keep listening and let's do this. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mindful Living Podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. And here we are mid-November, which means we are thinking about the holidays and talking about the holidays. And with that being said, I feel really led to have a quick, direct to the point conversation around holiday triggers and how to handle them. While sure, this time of year for a lot of people can be fun and exciting and filled with joy and reuniting with family, and all of that is absolutely amazing. But there is another side. There's also a large majority of people who are disconnected from family, unable to afford, let's say, a plane ticket to get home to family. Maybe they're in treatment, working on their mental health or their addiction. Maybe they come from a family who's separated right now. You know, there's different shifts in the dynamics and maybe even drama and people aren't talking. Maybe this holiday season, there's people going through loss, right? I know that's me right now. I recently lost my dad and it's the most painful thing I've ever gone through. And so there's so many different things that each of us as individuals can be experiencing. And then within the family, right? There's always individual stuff and then family stuff. And so as it relates to holiday triggers, I feel led to just normalize that you are not alone. If this time of year is bringing up different emotions ranging from sadness, maybe anger, anxiety, depression, you name it, you are not alone in that and there's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you lack gratitude. It doesn't mean that you should be further along or that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean any of that. In fact, it tells the truth that you're a human, just like me and just like all of us listening to this and everybody, right? I mean, this is part of our human experience. And sometimes it can be really difficult because part of us wants things to be a certain way, and sometimes it can't be that way. And that is what I have found specifically around the holidays, is that a lot of us, myself included, we get so lost in the idea of what we want things to be and how we want things to look like. But that's nothing more than some idea we've created in our head. It's a narrative of the mind. And so what I have found to be very, very helpful is trying your hardest to stay focused on the facts and doing your best not to let your thoughts control you or consume you. Because what happens is most of us, if we're honest with each other, we tend to create a narrative that brings on some type of emotional suffering or disappointment. And it can even trigger other feelings like resentment and bitterness and all kinds of stuff. And when we do that, the only person who hurts is ourselves. And a lot of times we are creating a scenario and it's not even going to happen. In other words, we're living a painful experience within self, but it's not really going to play out in real life. And that doesn't mean whatever the reality of your life is right now isn't hard. It probably is hard, just like for me right now, there's a lot of things in my life that feel hard. But we tend to make things harder because we start to create a narrative. And so just some tips and tricks to manage holiday stress and triggers this year is to practice mindfulness, which is to be present in the moment, focusing on the here and now. And every time you find yourself jumping ahead and worrying about what's to come, notice that and redirect your focus back to the present moment. That's number one. Number two, boundaries. Boundaries are important all year round, but especially around the holidays. Now more than ever, it's important to reclaim your power and to know that you and only you are responsible for maintaining your boundaries. So what that means is if you're feeling pressured, let's say, to make a decision that you know you don't want to make because it's not supportive to you, then that's your responsibility to make the decision that's going to keep you safe on an emotional level. It's doing what's best for you. It's saying no. It's asking for help. It's declining an invitation, or it's speaking your truth, right? Especially those of you who are working on improving your mental health and healing your addiction and choosing sobriety. This time of year can be especially triggering, because most families, they're drinking and they're partying, and there's this whole social thing that's happening, and maybe you're feeling pressured or nervous to be in that environment. So now more than ever, it's so important for you to boundary up, use your voice, and don't be afraid to do what's best for you. You don't need anyone's permission. Number 3 is learning that you are allowed to take care of you. You are allowed to take care of you. You are not at all obligated to do something you don't want to do. And I know that kind of coincides with boundaries, but it's just that innate remembering that you are only responsible for you, and you are allowed to do what's best for you. And then, the other thing that I always suggest, and it sounds so silly, but anytime you find yourself feeling stressed or getting worried or feeling sad or feeling anything that might feel heavy or unpleasant, stop yourself in that moment and ask yourself, how am I contributing to what I'm feeling right now? More often than not, we contribute to our painful experiences because we let our thoughts start to take us on this whole merry-go-round, and we create these narratives in our head that have no evidence. And so just remember that and do your best to just be present, as I said earlier. And as I often say, when in doubt, breathe. Stop in the moment and breathe. It's to breathe all the way in and to exhale all the way out. Doing that 3 to 5 times, you would be so surprised how powerful your breath is and how it can truly help reset your nervous system and bring you back down to a state of calmness. And then again, maybe you coming up with an affirmation, some type of affirmation to help guide you in the decisions you're going to make through this holiday season, and also an affirmation to help guide you and help you stay in the state of responding rather than reacting. That's so important. Learning how to respond, practicing responding versus reacting. And all that means is when someone's maybe pressuring you to make a decision or making you feel like you have to pick between sides or whatever your individual story is, it's reclaiming your power in that moment by giving yourself the space to not decide or respond right then and there. We are allowed to take our time. And I so want to highlight this part. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world, or what you're working on. I believe strongly that every single one of us, we are more than worthy and deserving of feeling good as often as possible. And even if this time of year can be sad and heavy for some of us, we still deserve to feel good. And so I want to invite you to give yourself permission to feel good while feeling the other stuff that you're feeling, right? Because your feelings are valid. If you feel sad because things in your family have changed, if you're grieving, whatever it is that you're experiencing, all of that is valid, and you're allowed to have space for that. But you don't have to only have space for that. You can be grateful and grieving. You can be happy and sad. You can be, thrilled for what's to come and still disappointed that things aren't the way you'd like them to be, right? Like all that stuff is able to coexist at the same time. So I really with love invite you to give yourself permission to feel good as often as you can this time of year. No matter where you are or who you are, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel good. And when in doubt, walk away, say no, ask for help. Know that even if you feel alone, you are not alone. There's so many other people, myself included, who are feeling a wide range of emotions right now. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm remembering and learning almost daily at this point is the importance of letting go of outcomes and trying not to control situations, people, places, things. It's so human of us to want to do that, but we don't have the power to control any person or anything outside of ourselves and how we respond to the outside world. So here's to reclaiming your power, letting go as often as possible, breathing when you need to, and remembering this too shall pass. Have fun if you can For those of you who are looking forward to the holidays, I'm right there with you. I'm excited for you. Enjoy every moment. And remember, one moment is leading to the next moment. And not to minimize a moment, but it's just a moment. And they pass so fast. They're fleeting. I mean, look, we're here at the end of the year, approaching year 2023. It's unbelievable. So try not to get so consumed in what is. Stay present and focus on what's in your control and choose love. It's the most powerful energy in the world and it wins every single time. So much love to you guys. Happy holidays and all the best today and always. Thank you for joining me today. If you found today's episode to be insightful and inspiring, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And I kindly ask that you please leave me a review so together we can help the next person. To learn more about my products and services, check out www.themindfulliving.com and come connect with me on Instagram at mindfulliving.now, where I share daily inspiration, mindful skills, tips, and more. Until the next episode, stay mindful and always remember the power that lives inside of you.